play here. 3rd and 15. The Eagles need a big chunk of yardage to keep this drive alive.
It's aggressive.
Burbage went in motion. They had 3 guys to the left. And now it's Penix taking off up the middle, and he has a lot of room to roam. Carter Penix in for the touchdown from 28 yards
It's
out.
time for the LCA Football Coach Oakley Watkins Show. Live from the home of the Eagles in Lexington, Kentucky on the OrthoLinks Sports Network. The Coach Oakley Watkins Show is presented by Justice Broadcast Network and the Kentucky Bluebird Grill and Pub. Now here's the host of the Coach Oakley Watkins Show, Jason Hunt.
All right, we are live here at the home of the Eagles on Reynolds Road here at the Coach Oakley Watkins Show. Coach, I'm used to going to work and looking at a sheet and with a lot of injured players, but it looks like your roster now looks like an orthopedic clinic. So I know you come in, you look at the roster, it almost looks like my schedule in the week. So we just had a rough one last week against Cal. People approach that differently. To you, do you think this is one of those things, it's like burn the tape and move on, or what did we learn last week?
Yeah, when we got into the tape, what we did this week is we watched 10 plays of us on offense, 10 plays of us on defense, and then watched a handful of special teams plays. So kept it at 25 plays that we could really learn from. And I thought that was the best way to approach it because there was a lot to learn from and teach from, but it's also one of those things like, we've got to move forward and not spend too much time on it. Yeah, we could have watched that tape for hours and hours, but to learn from 25 plays and split it in the way we did, I think we got a lot out of the tape, and then we had to move on because we got a really good Franklin County football team on Friday.
And just to be fair, to be clear about Cal, they're super talented. Like, they're an incredible team. I heard Greg talking about what you're saying, in your opinion, maybe the second best team in the state. If you talk about 6A and Trinity, maybe the only team that's more talented than they are. So top to bottom, a very talented team. And we start looking at, we talked about this earlier, we don't make excuses. Like, you play with whatever's in front of you, and we'll move on through that loss. We're not really used to being out-man-powered, I guess. And that was it was an eye-opening experience, I'm sure, for a lot of people. We take 25 plays, like you said, and move on, and our schedule doesn't have any mercy. We're moving on to Franklin County. But looking back at, what do you see positive in our kiddos at the Cal game?
Yeah.
Not just from an individual standpoint, from a team standpoint.
Yeah, I thought one really, and this is something we talked about as a staff, and I talked about specifically on the offensive side of the ball, is I felt like Nash, being in the position he was in, he was really pressured a lot, but he knew where the football was supposed to go, and he about made some plays really that still were extremely special with not a lot of time in the backfield to kind of process what he was supposed to be seeing. So that was something for me that I thought was pretty special to see from him. I thought our defensive line played much better, and I got to shout out Coach Jacob Hyde. He's done a really good job with that group, and a couple guys got in different stances and really made a difference for those guys. I thought they played really hard, but I'd say those were two things that really taken away from it were pretty good. And our return game has still been
Special
a
team is
highlight
good.
for us.
Yeah.
Coach Trey Hood's doing a great job with that group as well. Tyler King and Sam Pearson both, and the return game's been good. So those were a couple of highlights that I took away from it.
We're going to spend a little bit of time talking to a couple players today, and give us an intro on Jeremiah Burbage.
Yeah, Jeremiah, he's another one of those guys in that special sophomore class. Just so much fun to coach, and I'm going to tell you, he's a name that people need to go ahead and get to know, because he's a guy that has still got so much growing to do, and at the next level, everybody's talking about how they want long, rangy, tall corners, and that's what he's going to be. He loves playing the corner position. My mom, she's my biggest critic, and one of the things she told me about us, she said, I really like watching that number 21 on defense. She said he is a really good player, and he had quite the challenge Friday against Jahai Brown, and he and I talked afterwards. I know he's disappointed in a couple plays he had, but he's right there with a guy that's one of the top receivers in the country, really. Yeah. And Jeremiah is going to be a special one. He's a lot of fun to coach, always comes to work with a smile on his face, and makes my job a lot of fun. But he's a great leader too. He's a guy that's vocal for his age, and I can't wait to see what his future has in store.
What is it about cornerbacks that make them so vocal?
I don't know, and I tell him honestly, I wish he'd be a little bit more vocal because he plays with a little edge and plays with a little juice. And I don't know, I guess it's just they're out there. You got to have a little confidence, play out there on an island by yourself. And he's going to be a special one. And he's a good receiver too. He's young and he's getting faster, he's running track, and it's just a joy to watch his growth. Where he was as an 8th grader to where he is right now. Oh my goodness, it's been so. Just thinking about what he's going to be down the road here because he's already a really good player. Yeah, it's going to be pretty cool.
And then we'll move into Holden Klaiber. What can you tell us about Holden?
Yeah, Holden is he's a captain on our team. He's a 2-year starter up front for us on the offensive line, and seeing where Holden is currently from where when he had come in here as an offensive lineman is just really special to see. He's a guy that's really dedicated to his craft. Loves this program. We always talk about setting an example for younger guys. Like, he really takes that to heart. He's got 2 younger brothers that are in our youth football program, and he's out there picking those guys up all the time. If they're not his little brothers, his friends. He's everything you want in a senior leader and an offensive lineman. It's position group. You want selfless guys, and he is exactly that. And I think his best football's ahead of him too. He's got several next level opportunities already, and just excited to see where the senior year goes for him because he deserves a special one.
How many years do you think it'll take as a head coach to not hold the offensive line to such a high regard? I'm joking.
Yeah, I was going to say.
An offensive lineman, it'll take 100 years, right?
I was going to say never. I was actually talking to one of our 7th graders today, Doug's son, Cody, who's playing O-line for us, and Doug looked at him and said, "You're going to be spending a lot of time with him." I said, "Look, it's the only position group on our team that gets to buy their own T-shirts."
Fair enough. Yeah, I knew the answer was going to be 100+ years. Yeah. So we'll take a short break, and we'll come right back with Jeremiah Burbage. All right, we're back here at the home of the Eagles with sophomore Jeremiah Burbage. Now, you promised me that as soon as you hit the waves that the OrthoLinks Sports Network was probably not going to be the same anymore. And I was just asking Oakley this. What is it about defensive backs that give you so much swagger?
I mean, you know, when you play the game, you just got to play with a certain confidence. You just got to carry yourself like you're one of the top guys on the field. You got to have that confidence about yourself, and that's how you're going to be a great DB. I mean, when you line up, you can't be scared about the guy in front of you, no matter who it is. It can be a guy that just started playing football, a guy that's been playing football his whole life and got offers from all across the country. You got to treat it like every other game and just go out and do your job and just compete.
Yeah, you play wide receiver for us too. Which side of the ball do you think comes more natural to you?
So my dad, he played for the Cowboys at receiver, so I always was raised to be a receiver. But then past 2 years, I just started playing corner, and it just clicked. Like I've been supposed to do it forever. So past 2 years, corner has just came natural to me, and I just loved it. I just loved the game.
What do you do in the off season, getting ready, coming into this season? What was your goal as an individual coming into this season?
I mean, as this goal, I was just trying to prove myself. Of course, as a team, you know, we all want to win state. But as an individual, I just want to prove myself because I've been doubted my whole life. So I just want to come out every day, prove that I belong with the top guys in the country, and just come out and compete.
Yeah. And then did you spend some times in camps in the summer?
Yes, sir. I went to about 4 college camps. I also went to the FBU Top Gun camp, and I ended up earning an invite to the National Combine in San Antonio after the season. So I will be going there to compete.
What did you learn during that time? When you're lining up best on best, what did you learn in those type of camps?
I just learned to trust my technique, just trust what I've been taught by my coaches, by everyone that's helped me. Just trust myself and do what I'm taught.
Yeah. Let's step away from football a little bit and talk about LCA in general as a school. So looking back at the time you've spent here so far, and obviously you have plenty more time left here, what do you say either your favorite memory is, or what would you say is most special about LCA?
I mean, what's most special about LCA is, of course, as a football team, the brotherhood, but of course, in the school, I mean, you got teachers that treat you like kids. Like, I know Miss Leach, she is like another mother to me. And I never had her in class, but every time she sees me, she hugs me. She tells me she loves me. And that you can say that about all teachers that teach at this school. They just really care for you and just want what's best for you.
Yeah. Anything else you want to leave Eagle Nation with?
Hey, we may be down right now, but I promise y'all, it's not going to be like that for long. We coming for that state ring.
All right. We'll come right back with senior Holden Klaiber. We're back here with senior Holden Klaiber. We were looking at the spelling of your name, and I was trying to discuss and make sure I got that right. So we got it right, Klaiber. Talk to me about so far this season, if you look back at what your goals were coming into this year, and some feedback looking back in the first few games of the season, what would you say?
I think that, we all say we want a state championship, and that's still our goal. And I think some people may count us out from that, but I know we can fight back with the guys that we got. And some people, they'll say we're down, we'll say we're hurt, but we got guys right behind that can step up and fill that role. And so we still got the same goals and the same mindset to just attack every play and take it 1 week at a time and just keep fighting through all of it.
Yeah, what's been the attitude of the team? Have they been taken to coaching, and we're kind of just picking ourselves up and moving forward to the next week? What would you say about your teammates right now, the mind state?
I'd say obviously it hurts losing a lot of guys, but we're pretty up at the same time because we know we got to fight, and that just means we got to fight even harder, and we got to bounce back even harder and take every rep more serious and don't take those little things for granted, and just really pay attention to detail and keep focusing on those little things.
We have 2 big games coming up. We always look week to week, never look too far forward. Everyone on the schedule knows when we play Catholic. That's a big game for everybody, right? We got Franklin County coming in, or we're going to Franklin County this week. What do you know about Franklin, and what do you guys need to do this week to be successful?
Well, I know in the box they're quick. They'll fire off, and they always do, and we'll give them their respect, but we won't back down from anybody as well. I mean, we got to, like I said, pay attention to those little things. Like up front, I know we got to stay low. We got to fire off and keep our hands inside. And I think, Oak gives us these great game plans every single week. And as long as we execute what he's got for us, I think we'll be just fine. All
right. And then I'll ask you the same thing. What did you do in the off season preparing coming into this season, and kind of what were some, like I asked you before, like what are the goals for you personally coming into the season?
Yeah, in the off season, I took my time, went to some camps, and really tried to focus on getting stronger and getting faster. I feel like those were 2 of my biggest things from last year, was my strength and just size in general, and putting that on, making myself the best that I can be for this team. Yeah. And, going to all those camps, learning from these different coaches and all these college experiences that you can get, obviously it comes back and helps you a lot more than you think.
Yeah, I asked Jeremiah that same thing. What did you learn about yourself when you go to those camps?
Mm-hmm. I think you learn a lot about yourself and just putting yourself on that scale for the nation and where you're at with everybody else. And I think you can learn so much. Like for me, I learned a lot in my past about staying square and punching with my outside hand, getting my timing right. And there's just so many little things that you can learn from those. And just I feel like there's always something more that you can gain from every single camp that you go to.
Yeah. What do you look forward to most in the off season? Do you play any other sports? What do you do in the off season?
I think this year I have wrestled in the past, but I know this year I'm gonna really focus on putting on strength and size for college because I know I really need that. And I was thinking about basketball with some of the guys, senior year, going out with something fun.
We know Kenyatta set the tone for basketball, right? It made the most entertaining thing you can see on Reynolds Road was Kenyatta playing basketball. So.
Watching Kenyatta do those backflips up off the ground.
That's right. Or he also got trucked over by a 110-pound guard and he flopped. That's how he's doing. If you can do that, then we'll put that on for sure.
All right, we'll do.
Let's step away from football. Let's talk about LCA. When did you come to LCA? How long have you been here?
I started here in preschool in TK and then left for a while, and I came back my sophomore year.
Okay.
And it's just been so special.
Yeah, tell me about that. Tell me what's special about LCA to you.
I think the thing that's so special to me is the relationships. And people just care. I feel like people would just care so much more here. And they really dive into those relationships and want to know you as a person. and not just a student or an athlete, and they really care about you and invest in you more than really anybody else does.
Yeah, we can't say enough good things about this school. Everybody sees that and appreciates it. So anything else you want to leave us with going forward in the next few weeks?
You know, I'm just trying to pick up our guys right now, and we're ready. We're ready to fight. Don't count LCA out, and just keep us. We're ready to go for anybody.
Good. All right, thanks. We'll
Thank
step
you.
away. We'll be right back with Coach Oakley Watkins.
Looking for a place where good food, great music, and family fun come together? Come on down to Kentucky Bluebird Grill and Pub in the heart of the Summit area, Ashland, Kentucky. At Kentucky Bluebird, we're serving up classic Southern comfort food with a smile. From our mouth-watering burgers to our famous chicken and dumplings, there's something on the menu for everyone in the family. But that's not all. We're Ashland's premier live music venue, showcasing the best local artists and rising music stars. Our outdoor stage is the place to be, with toe-tapping performances under the Kentucky stars. Whether you're here for a family dinner, a night of live music, or just to soak up the Bluebird vibe, we've got you covered. Open daily with plenty of parking and a warm welcome waiting. Kentucky Bluebird Grill and Pub, where good eats meet great beats in Ashland's Summit area. Visit us today or give us a call at 606-585-0800. Also, follow us on Facebook, Kentucky Bluebird Grill and Pub.
We are back live here with Coach Oakley Watkins on the Oakley Watkins LCA football show. And we kind of, I did kind of burn the stat sheet for the last game. But let's look forward to Franklin County. I know we've talked about it now for a couple weeks. We always look forward to what's on the schedule. Never looking forward during the week when we're preparing, but now it's here. Let's talk about a little bit about Franklin County, what they've done well. It's a place, obviously, it's very close to you personally. But aside from that, what do we know about Franklin County and what to expect?
Yeah, they're extremely well coached. I said this today. Fox was here. It was where their game of the week this week, which is pretty cool. And I just couldn't say enough great things about Eddie James, their head coach there. I think he's really arguably done as good of a job as anybody in the state of Kentucky over the last 5 to 10 years in terms of building Franklin County into a perennial power in the state of Kentucky, and have a ton of respect for what he's done, youth all the way up to high school, and his kids are well coached. And what those kids are learning as first graders is the same thing really they're teaching at the high school level, just on a more amplified way. And that's the thing that I think has made them so talented. And I know they're going to be a powerhouse in Class 4A for a long time, but they're just extremely well coached. I mean, defensively, they fly the football. If you get counter, they're squeezing, they're wrong arming. I mean, it's like they've been doing it when they wake up in the morning.
Yeah, they know what to expect.
Offensively, they're explosive. I mean, they've got a lot of team speed, and that's something for us that we know it's going to be a real test for us on Friday night. But that's again why you play these games. Like we're learning so much about our team right now, and we know we're playing for November, and that's what the focus is focusing on week to week, but learning a lot about ourselves. And I think when you play good teams like this, they're going to expose those things. Like I'd rather learn it now than in November. So it's going to be fun.
You said that we talked about it before. First, high school start at quarterback as Boyle County for Nash. Now he has start number 2 down, and you saw stuff on the tape and then live that you really liked as he starts to grow in that role as the starting quarterback. But also, you have some consistency stuff. You're going to have TK running routes like he always runs routes. So you got stuff that really doesn't go away through the year. But if you're building that block, and we look at Franklin, and then we have Lexington Catholic coming, then we have the district. What would your goal be from where we are now? I'm not talking about wins and losses, but the growth before we get to that playoff. What do you want to see from the team in the next 2 weeks?
Yeah, I think with the injury piece, and this is something we talked about on Monday, I brought our team in the weight room for a little team building exercise and just talked about in tough moments, because I've seen this, when you have tough moments, and we're always preaching play the next play, most important play is the next play, is continuing to see that mentality, because we've had – I see glimpses of it when we make a mistake or something happens, because that's going to happen when you play good football teams, and the margin of error is slim.
Exposure,
So I think that growth piece for me is just continuing to see us be player-led instead of coach-led. And our senior class has been awesome. And I really spoke so highly of so many of those guys last week and really on Monday. Like, Mac's been out. But I think the cool thing for Mac is I think this experience for him has been good because he was so vocal on Friday. It's as vocal as I've ever heard Mac. And he's coaching these guys up and he's building them up. Yeah. And Carter Penix has got the iPad on the sideline. He's showing young guys things. So I think that, for me, really is the growth piece, is when you have adversity, is seeing those senior leaders take on that responsibility. I know that's one that maybe people don't think about, but for me, like, that's a big deal. And you can see that juniors and sophomores, same right. If we can get that collectively, like, this is going to be a bunch when things go wrong. It's like guys are like, hey, what else are we expecting? What else is next? Come on, bring it on. And that's what I think that growth piece comes from.
And I think we talked about this too. I think if you look back and we just talked to Holden, like that group of seniors at offensive line last year really kind of, and Tyler said it multiple times on multiple outlets, they taught me what I need to do to be a leader. And then now the same thing's going to happen. Now they're going to be looking, the younger guys are looking at Tyler and say, he taught me what to do to be a leader. So in the middle of that adversity, I think we're still a bunch of positive things out of some negative scores or some negative outcomes, but we're never playing for the first part of it. We want to win every game. If you're going to play the game, we want to win every game. So it's not making excuses, but even through that adversity, if we see that growth, then we know just what you said, that when playoffs start, which is what every kiddo who walks through these walls want to do, is perform well in the playoffs, then they'll learn from that. What would you say, going through what we've been through from an injury standpoint, what's that do to the amount of sleep a coach gets at night?
Yeah, somebody asked me today, we've got a student at UK who, she's been with our program the last 3 years. She's in student leadership and been awesome for us, and she's a big Bengals fan. She said, Coach, did you watch the Bengals play on Sunday? And I'm not a Bengals fan. But I said, nope. I did not watch a snap of NFL football until the night game, and that's about when I started settling down. Was 11:45. Got to watch the fourth quarter of that one,
which is a good one.
And it was a great. That's what she said. She goes, "Well, at least you get to see the best one of the day." But I just, for me, and I tell our kids this: like, where you pour your time into, that's what people see is important to you. Yeah. And for me, that's, our kids know what those things are for me. And right now, like, I just want to do everything I can, work tirelessly to make sure that I'm putting our kids in the best position to be successful, while also prioritizing the other things in my life. So Sunday was get up, went to church. We went to a nice lunch as a family, and then you went after that, we got to work. And that's what I'm prioritizing this time of year. But my Sunday this week, in the last couple of weeks, has looked a little different than what it typically does, just because we've got different guys playing different positions. It's my responsibility as a coach for them not to see us doing things that are different, but in simplifying it, but it look different to another team. Yeah. And we've got a great staff, and I think we've got a good game plan this week. And I think every week we go in, like, I'm always confident in our staff with the game plans. But yeah, it's definitely definitely as different as it's ever been right now, just with what we're experiencing. But
yeah, we'll pick up the pieces for sure. And we said this many times, you coach the team that you have. That's the thing about high school football, not just year to year, but week to week. It's great to have a next man up mentality, but when you're at 2A level, you only have so many men who can step up when you say next man up. So certainly been a challenge, but one that I think when we get everyone healthy and everyone's on the same page, I think even for Mac, you're saying that, like, being out for a couple weeks, when he comes back, he's going to be reckless from the standpoint of, like, you took something away from me that I wanted so bad, which is play my senior year. When he comes back, I'm sure he's going to be playing as hard as he can play. Yeah. And the same for everybody who's injured in it. And I see it too, and I've been watching how people are responding to it. And people aren't hanging their heads, and they're not feeling sorry for themselves. They can look at some teammates who don't get to come back for the rest of the season, so they're not feeling sorry for themselves. They're trying to get to work and get healthy and come back. So I think that reflects, again, your leadership. We can brag on that, but also just these leaders, these seniors and the players. So we can look to them and say, we talked about adversity since we started talking about this, but since camp starts, and how do you respond to it, and having courage, like you said, to respond and do the first thing. So I think we're seeing that. I think everybody else can see it too. The outside talk is that we need an ambulance to take people to class, which is not necessarily true, but they're working through it, get as healthy as they can, so we'll come back as strong as ever, I'm sure.
Well, and that's one thing. Monday, we had our little team building exercise in here, which was extremely powerful. I won't keep that for us, but it was one that was really special, and I think our guys got a lot out of it. But we went back in the film room, and when we're talking in there, and I listened to David Pollock speak at the FCA event this year at Emmanuel, and he looked around, and people that don't know his story, he's had some storms of his own. He's been extremely fortunate with some of the things he's had, and he's got a lot of God-given ability. But he looked around the room, and this is what I told our team, is like, all of us at some point, if you're not in a storm right now, you're going to be in one.
Yeah.
And this one for us, it's a storm. But really, when you see some other things that other people are going through, it's a pretty small scale thing for us. And I reminded our team of how fortunate, and had them look around at our space and the teammates they have and the coaches they have and the things we've been blessed to be at a great place like this. Like, we're in a storm right now, but it's really small.
Yeah.
And we're all going to have our own bigger storms at some point in our lives. Some have already had some are going to have some. But there's things in your life that have to stay consistent, and that's what I told our team Monday, was like, our faith in the Lord, it's got to be one of those things.
Right.
And surrounding yourself with people that you know care deeply for you, and they're going to encourage you in those moments. Like, that's what we're learning right now. And that's something that, look, again, I want to win. That's one reason I pour so much time into it. I do want to win. But I also want our kids to learn life lessons. And this year, we've learned a lot.
A fair share. But you also want them to equip. When they leave this program, to be equipped with something, to be able to handle something that's way bigger than this game. They're all hopefully going to be great dads and great business leaders and all the other stuff, and things are going to happen. And if they leave here, if it takes all these injuries and that experience, and that's what God has in mind for them, to train them up through that experience, even though it's painful to go through at the time, we can look back and say, man, that was a big success.
Well, as a dad, like, there's times that you get thrown into the fire, and you have to make decisions on the fly that are in adverse moments. And that's something these kids, like, I don't care what they are, they're going to be great husbands, they're going to be great dads, they're going to be great leaders, they're going to be just great disciples, really, when you look at it. And that's the thing for me, like, this is teaching them so much. I mean, I'm learning a lot about myself right now. Like,
you wouldn't pick it, but we'll go through it if we have to.
Yeah.
All right. Anything you want to leave us this week with?
No, just appreciate everybody's support that continues to be there for us. Appreciate you for taking this time and highlighting our guys. Yeah. We've got a really special group of young men that I'm just happy that they're able to be highlighted on this on a week-to-week basis. And I can't wait to see more and more highlighted as we go. But thank you all for your time, seriously, because this is really special for them to be able to get in front of the camera.
We're so happy to do it. All right, we'll see you next week after a win in Franklin County.
You've been watching the LCA Football Coach Oakley Watkins Show here on the OrthoLinks Sports Network. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the OrthoLinks Sports Network YouTube channel so you never miss a show. Thank you to our sponsors, and until next week, go Eagles.